I'm going to read this question again. And I'm going to change the question slightly. Just, this is the question that was posed originally, but I'm going to alter it just a little bit. But the question was religious people believing that climate change, etc., is just the end times freaks me out. I didn't read the rest of their thing, and maybe you did, why they specifically picked climate change, but just say we at all of our ages have gone through just wave after wave after wave of someone telling us, oh, this is the end times. Because you look at this, you look at that, you look at that. This is clearly the end times. They've been saying this now for 2,000 years. It's the end times. And you know, a broken clock is right twice a day, right? Or whatever that phrase is. Eventually there's going to be the end times because the comet's going to wipe us all out. They're like, I told you. Okay. Lucky you got to be right, but it had nothing to do with
I have
whatever.
I have solar expansion in the pool instead of comet. So
there you go. It's something, but tell me what your thoughts about that, and the rest of us can chime in on that idea that something is end times and it's freaking people out. Come on.
Where to begin? There's so much there in that little sentence.
You're welcome.
What religious people believe has ceased to freak me out. Because it has failed over and over and over again.
Yes.
Is it the Jehovah's Witnesses that first came up with this in the early 1900s? I may be getting that wrong.
The Adventists,
where they decided that the rapture was coming and had all their people sell all their stuff and then stand there and wait for. Well, nothing happened. And then they said, oh, well, we miscalculated the date, and they reset it. And they again sold all their stuff, didn't bother going to, school or furthering their education. What's the point? Yeah. We're going to Rapture with Jesus. And it didn't happen again. And it's over and over and over again, even up until the last few years.
Yeah.
People have gathered with this belief that the rapture is here because they were seeing the end times. I think it's a little bit of confirmation bias, where they have this belief that the Bible says Jesus will return with a sword coming out of his mouth and start destroying stuff, and there'll be lion-faced, horse-faced locusts flying around, and this is going to happen. The dead will rise from the graves, on all the other nonsense and Revelation, but there's no logical sense to it. Yeah, it's just a belief gone mad. It's the whole book. I didn't read it word for word, but the parts that I have read strike me as somebody on a some sort of psychedelic trip, jotting notes down. Right. And there were plants in the Middle East that could create psychotropic hallucinations. And you can connect the two logically. Occam's razor says the simplest explanation is most likely to be the one. But it's just insane to me. I don't let it worry me anymore because I've actually talked to people who were like in Times Square, about 12 years ago when they thought the rapture was coming. For some reason, they decided that Times Square in New York City was the place to be for the rapture. And
so insane.
They got to stand around and watch nothing happen. And they laughed their asses off.
Yet again.
Nothing
happened.
But, if you're insistent and repetitive enough and garner enough power and influence over these people, there's going to be another group waiting shortly.
Yeah, and you said that they recalculated the date. That happens every single time. This happens all the time. Sometimes it's big news, sometimes it's small news. There's always some random preacher in the middle of nowhere who says this date based on whatever crazy number. And when it doesn't happen, they're like, I was off by what? You're off because it's never going to happen, man. You remember the Mayan calendar? Was it 2012? Like that we're going back to the Mayan. That one. Like, oh my gosh, they weren't even Christian, but we're still somehow applying it. Like, this is insane. It happens though. I don't know, every year, every two. I hear it constantly my entire life. And
would I be correct in this is a thought I've had for a while. The United States' fervent and consistent support for the state of Israel is directly related to the religious feeling that if Israel's destroyed, that's the end of that's the second coming. That's the end of the world.
I would support you on that one. Yeah,
I would double down, triple
Absolutely.
down on that support.
They're praying for a quickening of that event. In fact, Israel has gone back in the late 90s. They went through a breeding program to bring back the red bulls that would be able to
one of
the ones that should be sacrificed.
Jeez.
Yeah. And I know that they sent them to a place here in the United States, and that place was guarded like really heavily so that, you know, crazy people couldn't get at them and kill the bulls, you know, because they need that for part of their blood ritual.
Is that tongue in cheek where Red Bull gives you wings?
Yeah. Yeah. Now I'm kind of
right on
I
up
think
to
I
heaven.
see the connection now.
I'm
I
sorry.
believe
Yeah,
it's the sacred Apis bull that they're in need of in order to fulfill their blood magic ritual.
That's insane. I mean, like when you think about like some of these like evangelicals that are like so pro-Israel, right? Like the Mike Huckabees of the world. And remember back in the day, it was Pat Robertson, right?
Yeah.
All of those people want the end to come.
Yeah,
they are
like
fervently praying that heaven come to earth and the end happen. Which means that everyone who hears me right now, there's someone out there
under
who's
the sound of your voice
fervently praying that you no longer exist. Those people are dangerous.
Yeah.
Now they may not pose a danger to us, directly, but that is very dangerous thinking. That is way outside the realm of where anybody should be operating.
And it's
because
so
when
on
you
the edge.
start allow things like that, then we're in really dangerous water. Then people start strapping bombs to their chest. They start doing all kinds of really crazy shit.
Yeah.
That should not be tolerated.
They do the things in order for them to try to bring into reality the stuff that they read in their scriptures to make the end times come about. And that is dangerous. I even just think about like how, and I think that, you were right, Larry, when you were mentioning about the Jehovah Witnesses every 2 to 3 years coming up with a different doomsday, scenario, because the prophet of the, church said things. And I have a personal ought with any type of organization or individuals who constantly preach this end day thing, because I have a sinking feeling that they're going to help to propagandize like certain horrible things that can be detrimental to us as a society. Like I think of like some of the things that are happening at the federal level, and how I would hear religious people say, well, the Bible says this, and the Bible says that, and Israel is now a state. So, we just know that the four horsemen are on their way, and all these different things. And I'm just like, see, this is my issue. You're going to turn reality and society in order to make this thing a reality, instead of saying like, hey, how can we work together to make society better for all of us?
Yeah.
And I mean, and this is why I don't call myself anti-theist. I call myself anti-religious. And the reason I call myself anti-religious is because oftentimes you hear this rhetoric coming from, religious doctrine in order to propagandize some type of narrative of this is supposed to be what we're supposed to do. And it goes completely against well-being. Completely. I don't really understand how constantly preaching that the end is near and the Antichrist is coming and we need the Red Bull to give us wings in order for us to bring about like, a more perfect union. I don't see it. If I don't see it and you do, I would be more than happy to be enlightened by you and whatever knowledge that you might possess, you know, I will listen. And before I say this is bullshit, but you know, but I will, like, if you come to me with empiricism, but unfortunately we haven't gotten that yet. The only thing that we have gotten is, like, you know, preachers and other, you know, televangelists telling us that this is the end time, so we need to take heed because of God Magog or whatever type of shit that is. And then, you know, other people like falling in line and following suit with this type of doctrine.
Yeah.
Do you know how many dozens of movies they've made about the rapture and the tribulation?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Common trope, right? Yeah.
Yeah. The
I watch
Left
a lot
Behind
of those
series. Why is the
fascinating.
Left Behind thing a series?
Yeah. Is that Kirk Cameron? Is that his series?
Well, you have the rapture, then you have the tribulation.
Oh, God.
So the second movie was about the tribulation and you know, the marks and the killing of the, you know, the assassinations of the religious and stuff.
Oh, God.
Yeah, they went back to the early 70s and they're still making them. So
and they probably will. And like I said, until the comet hits us or whatever we do. It's it's like a boogeyman, right? It's the thing under the bed, or you know, hiding in the woods or whatever. It's this thing that's hanging out there that's ready to take us out at any given moment, and we better prepare and we better do the right thing because it's happening. You know, it's like, come on.
Well, you know,
it's a way to control.
It's a much more exciting story than, oh yeah, I don't believe in that anymore. How long would that movie be?
Exactly. That would be a short on TikTok. And then we're done.
There'd probably be a dance to go with it.
Exactly. Hey, thanks for tuning in to today's show. I really hope you enjoyed it. Do me a favor and like and subscribe to the show and tell a friend. That helps us grow and it lets us keep bringing you more voices from the other side of belief. Until we talk again, be kind to one another and remember that reason and compassion go a long way.